Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So as the title says, this video is going to be about breaking down Yuto Horigome's new street part in the streets of Tokyo that he put out just over a week ago. I know I'm a little bit late to the party because a lot of people have already done reviews and reactions to his part, but I just feel like there's so many talking points, and I mean, Yuto at the moment is probably the hottest property in skateboarding, considering his sponsors, his performance in major contests in 2023. He's won every one this year so far, every major one. If we have a closer look at the results he's managed to get this year, so starting off at Tampa Pro back in March, he came first, and then going on to the Uprising in Tokyo. I know he set that one up himself, and he still won it. And then X Games in Ventura, he came first. Best Trick and Street. And then the recent Street League event in Tokyo in his hometown, he also came first. So I mean, if you just look at those numbers, the performance in major contests speaks for itself. I genuinely believe he's in pole position to win SOTI. Let's see how the rest of the year transpires, but I'm just going to throw that out there. I think he's going to win Skater of the Year this year. I love to share my insight on this particular part because I feel like there's a lot to talk about. And I'm personally a huge fan of Yuto. I have been since he burst onto the scene. What was it, like 6-7 years ago? I think it was with the Next New Wave on the Berrick's YouTube channel that really put him on the map. And then he got on, I remember watching him when he was on Blind Skateboards. That was before he got on April. And yeah, I've always been a huge fan of his. I love his style. He's got an incredibly relaxed style. Looks like his arms barely move. You hardly see him bail. So yeah, I'm really excited to share my insight on his recent part. So let's dive into it. Okay, warming up with a nollie flip with a nice long lens shot. And there you've got the new dunks that were released as well last month. And there we have that really nice cross feathered logo that also appears on his colorway of the dunks. Huge back crook down a very steep handrail into the camera flash and straight into the bush. Here we have the second angle, and if you look closely, there's a pillar on his right hand side where he's had to tuck in his right arm in order not to hit it. If he hadn't have tucked his right arm in, then he would have gone into that. So, I mean, you could say that is kind of like the natural position when you go into a crook, into a back crook, but still to have that awareness of that pillar and tuck his right arm in is just goes to show his awareness really. Tray flip Manny to Manny down a sick bank with a little bit of a curb in the middle, so he's had to pop over that going into the second part of the Manny. Yeah, this spot looks amazing. So it's gap out to back 50 and then into the bank. It looks like the same spot where he just did the tray flip Manny to Manny, maybe close to that area. But yeah, that looks like an insane spot. I know it's obviously a quite basic trick on a gnarly spot, but I think it would have been sick to see maybe a back tail. I think a back tail on that would have looked incredible, and we all know he could have done that. But yeah, I'd still really like the clip. Big spin front board, held it for a long time as well, and that's a cool trick to see in the streets because I feel like with this trick, the big spin front board, that's a classic go-to contest trick. You see the likes of Shane O'Neill, Nigel Houston, Gustavo Ribeiro do this trick a lot, and yeah, I mean it's a great looking trick. Not a lot of people hold it for as long as what Yuto just did, so that's cool to see him hold this trick because it's notoriously difficult to hold a big spin front board. Okay, security guard giving him nooks. Nice B-roll of Tokyo. Okay, here we have the back 50 down the double kink hubber. Yeah, this spot looks amazing. Nollie back nose blunt, and he wants some more. Nollie half cab, switch 5-0 back to regular. And nollie heel no slide. So I think those 3 tricks, I mean, going on Yuto's consistency, I imagine they did those 3 tricks in 3 minutes. If not, first try. Because, yeah, we see him do those tricks first try in Street League and in other major contests. So he's got those 3 tricks on lock. His nollie game is absolutely unparalleled. Okay, some nice vert tricks here. Beautiful stale fish. Look at that front foot. Yeah, I think it's really cool that they put these vert tricks in his park, because I mean they weren't the hardest vert tricks we've seen from Yuto, because we've seen him do the likes of 540s, kickflip to grabs, McTwists as well. So yeah, I mean they're not the hardest tricks for him to do, but it's still sick that they put it in a street part. I really appreciate that versatility. As we all know, Yuto is an ATV, he's an all-terrain vehicle. He's got street, he's got vert down, all aspects of skating. So it's sick that they put that in the part. Huge front lip down another massive handrail, very steep as well. Immense tray flip. And another tray flip on flat, just for good measure. Look at this front foot catch. Just going to pause it there. Look at that front foot catch. That is a thing of beauty. Since he burst onto the scene, I've always been a huge fan of his tray flips. I love the way he catches them with his front foot, and he winds up into them a little bit, which is a very unique technique. You don't see many people doing that. So, because he's goofy, he kind of winds up his right shoulder a little bit before going into the tray flip, which is not usually seen. So that's an interesting technique when approaching tray flips. And this is a 15 set. I just love his tray flips. Security guards kicking them out. Standard. Huge acid drop to lip slide. That's pretty hash. Massive nollie backside flip into a pretty gnarly bail, to be fair. Yeah, so I mean he landed it perfectly, but on the landing you can see a huge clump of mud there, and he's just gone straight into that. I mean, if you're going down that bank in switch after doing an ollie backside trick, your visibility and awareness obviously isn't going to be as high. There's some theories going around that Yuto landed this trick and then he filmed it again and added the bail on purpose just to show that he's human. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, let's keep it going. Executed perfectly. Absolute bolts. Big back 50 to triple bank with a very narrow landing again. So he's had to tuck both arms up in this clip, similar to the first clip where he had to tuck his right arm up. So yeah, I mean that just goes to show his awareness really when landing these tricks, because you've got to really be on point. Oof, another nasty slam. I mean, look at his face there. I'd say that was worse than the nollie backside flip slam, definitely. He puts both of his arms up and protects himself from the corner of that wall, but it still hits his hip. I mean, yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Here's that tray flip to nose grind bonk. So tray flip gap to nose grind bonk, because if you look closely, he doesn't get his back truck on there. Let's have a look. Let's pause it. Yeah, so it's kind of like a nose grind bonk. So tray flip gap to tray flip to nose grind bonk. This bail, I'd say this was the best. I'd say this was the worst bail in the part, definitely. Let's have a look. Yeah, look at that. That was definitely the nastiest. It looked like he could have actually hurt himself pretty badly there. And I mean, look at the size of that drop. He's dropped maybe 8 or 9 feet straight to his leg. But I think if anybody else had done that, they probably would have broken their leg or seriously injured themselves. But it looks like he managed to pull it off pretty well and not hurt himself too much, although he does look like he was potentially knocked out from that bail. But here we go, he's up again and trying it. Yeah, that is crusty, But cool to show that versatility. So a gap to front 5-0 and then a huge drop. It's not something we see from Yuto all the time. Hard flip over the rail. Big spin flip down a 4-set. Again with the tiled floors, I personally think looks really nice. And a well caught switch front side flip. Again, not in terms of trick difficulty, not the hardest for somebody like Yuto, obviously. If I did that line, I'd be really chuffed with a line like that. But because we're talking about Yuto, I think he could have stepped that up a little bit. But it's still a really good line. Big switch front board. And a nice nollie back lip as well to regs. I really like seeing that trick brought back to regs, because when you do that trick, nollie back lip, your body naturally starts going to fakie. It's cool to see people pull that trick back to regular, and especially on a huge handrail like that. Homie clip from Ice Shod Wear. Nice Wally crook and another Wally. Love watching Ice Shod skate. Big fan of his. Wally blunt slide to regular. Cool spot. Nollie inward heel over the chain and down a 11 set. Top notch, top notch. Crazy dropping, and look at that sculpture as well. It's almost vertical. Nice switchback Smith. Switchback tail big spin. There we go. That's what we were waiting for. Classic Yuto trick. Nollie carb to switchback lip, back to fakie. You can probably do that with his eyes closed. We see him do it all the time at Street League. First try, every try. And another Yuto classic, the nollie carb to switchback tail and brings it back to regular as well. Yuto special. Great switchback heel over the skate stoppers. Dash on with the guest clip too. And that looks like Costin. Yeah, that's Costin. Sick. Switch tray flip lip, back to regular. That's an insane trick. We saw him do that for the first time in Street League last year in Seattle. I think he did it first try in the best trick section. And he got into the 9 club for that. I mean, it's not a surprise. That's a top class trick. And here's that enormous board slide. Look at the size of that rail. Nollie crook. Crazy big ollie. Yeah, and I heard he did that at around 5 or 6 a.m. as well. So Yuto at the crack of dawn is eating huge drops like this for breakfast. It's not a problem for him. And here we have it, the MBD that we've all been waiting for, the most replayed part of the video. And don't forget, this video has had over 1 million views in less than 2 weeks. That must be a record. That speaks for itself, and it's just absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever seen a skate video reach 1 million views so quickly. So yeah, that is definitely something. Let's have another look at that ender again. So we've got the nollie 270 heel to board slide down a handrail. Perfectly executed. I've never seen anybody do that trick before, let alone on a flat bar. And Yuto's gone and done it on a handrail. Let's have another look in slow motion. Look at that, absolutely perfect. Here he is getting the love from the homies, and very well deserved. So there we have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed my insight into Yuto's new street part. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like Yuto is really pushing the boundaries of skateboarding with his style, with his trick selection, and his performance in contests. I'm a huge fan of his, and I can't wait to see more footage of him in the future. think there's another Street League event in October, so hopefully get to see him then. Be sure to stay tuned for the next video, because I'm going to start to do more reviews on video parts, contests, and just generally things going on in the skate community. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care. Peace.